It's a pleasure to be here with you. It's good to finally get on the field and play a football game after 3 weeks of practice. But went over to Mississippi to play Mississippi Valley State University, who's been struggling a little bit this season. But the good thing about it is we were able to play the way we were capable of playing. The thing that I was pleased with is we kept the mistakes down to a minimum for our football team, and was able to move the football, was able to run the football, throw the football, play great defense, get the ball back for our offense, and then also make some explosive plays in the special teams and also on offense as well. So it was good to block a couple of punts, to get on the scoreboard in many different ways. So it was a successful weekend. The good thing about it, we was able to play a lot of people, which allows us to develop some depth for the long haul. Questions?
Coach, we talk every week about just the varying levels of motivation. This past week it was first game after 21 days, and before the season it was falling short in the conference championship game. I guess I'm just curious, how do you get this team up week in and week out, regardless of the situation, regardless of the challenge, because there never seems to be that kind of lull that you'd expect from some teams, whether they're depending on their opponent. You know, they always seem to just be hot out the gate.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with our coaching staff. You know, our coaching staff does a really good job of preparing our guys. You know, strength staff also. So we talk all the time about, you know, depositing, you know, the right amount of money in the bank in order to make a withdrawal on Saturday, and that's the way we go about our business. You know, today is a day right now. We're at a zero balance, so we want to make sure we deposit today and every day so we can be effective on the weekend. So we just try to take it minute by minute, you know, day by day, and we have a mature group, you know, and they understand the importance of practicing and doing things the right way, which allows you to play the game the right way. So I really don't have, you know, a specific thing that we do. There's no direct science that gets our guys going, you know, but I know, you know, these guys want to win, you know, and they know that it takes us playing a certain way in order to do so.
Pretty successful bank you're operating, huh?
Well, you know, so far so good, you know, but at the end of the day, you know, we want to be standing in the end, so that's yet to be determined.
Was there one or two things on Saturday that the team did particularly well that you were overly pleased with?
I think playing together as a unit was probably the thing that was most impressive. A lot of times in the past, the offense gets a lot of the credit, but no one talks about the fact that the defense puts them in those positions in order for them to score those points. Well, now this year, you know, everyone's talking about the defense, but no one talks about the offense being able to run the football, which keeps our defense off the field so they can be rested. So it all goes hand in hand, and then when you add to the fact that defense is scoring points and we're able to block punts and score points in the kicking game, it's a total team effort. So I'm pleased with the fact the way we're able to play and the way we're able to score points, because, you know, I think we had 8 sacks on the day, and, you know, a lot of that credit goes to the defense, but also a lot of it goes to the offense, because if you're able to score a lot of points and get people in a situation where they're having to throw the football, so to speak, to catch up, then our defense understands that, you know, they have to throw, and it becomes a one-way deal, and they know that it's a pass every time. So it allows them to pin their ears back and go get the quarterback. So it's a total team effort, and it takes a total team in order to do some of the things that we're able to do.
Who deserves the credit with the running game success this year?
I think the offensive line, you know, but you know, it's hard to say, because, you know, you still have Chad Williams standing out there on the right, and you still have Verlin Hunter standing out there on the left. So it keeps safeties it keeps safeties from sticking their nose in there, which allows you to run the ball also. So you know, people play those guys differently, and when you're putting 2 guys out there to stop number 10 or number 2 or number 9 for that matter, you know, it's a little bit easier and a little bit cleaner to run the football.
It seems as if Dominique Leake has been getting a lot of attention. I know he's super fast, and right. Was the matchups just there? It worked out for him this past weekend?
I think he actually benefited from a lot of overplaying Chad. And that's the thing, you know, and I say it all the time. In order to be a successful team week in, week out, you have to be balanced, somewhat balanced. I don't believe in a balanced attack, but you have to be able to provide some type of counter for whatever you're doing. And people are going to try to take Chad away, and there's going to be times where they're successful at taking Chad away. But in doing that, you always open up something else. And those other people have to be playing well also in order for us to be successful. So I think he's been benefiting from people overplaying Chad, and I think our running game is benefiting from he and Verlin's success out there catching and running routes.
Would you say this is your most, I guess, balanced win of the year? You put up 535 yards of offense, you didn't allow a touchdown until 15 seconds left in the game, and you had a couple of special teams.
I would say it's one of our more balanced, games. I think the thing that was probably more pleasing to me than anything else that happened on Saturday, than anything that I've encountered since being here at Grambling State University, the thing that was probably more impressive for me was we were up 59-3 with maybe 2 minutes or so left in the game, and we put our freshmen in to finish the game. And most of their yards came on that last drive where they drove the length of the field and got to the inside the 10-yard line. And you could just see, you know, our players, our seniors and juniors and guys that are starters for us, you know, really fussing and harping at Coach Todd, wanting to get back in the game because they didn't want him to score. And they got in with second and 10, something like that, and they got in second and goal rather. And they were able to get in the game, and all 11 of those guys subbed themselves in and got the other guys off. But they got them to fourth and goal, and they still managed to score. But the effort that I saw on the last play, which was the PAT block, they had already scored. It was 59-9, and it was 5 seconds on the game clock. They had to kick the extra point, and the way our kids went after that kick, that said everything for me. The way these kids are actually attacking their opponents, because they went at it and attempted to block it, and you could see the effort on the field. So when guys do those little things like that, you know, that says a lot about the character, that says a lot about the mentality, that says a lot about the fight of our football team right now at this time.
Definition of a 60-minute effort, I guess?
Absolutely, absolutely.
To this point in the season, has this team surprised you in any fashion?
Our team, no. No, my team never ceases to surprise me. I think the thing about these guys is they're so resilient. They've been through so much, you know, in their career. The last phase for us was understanding how to handle success. You know, very few guys on this team have been successful. So when success happens, you know, that's the last deal. You know, how are you going to handle that? And I think when you go back to the Arizona game, I think that had a lot to do with what happened in the second half. We didn't know how to handle success. So our staff really pinpointed that and harped on that, and now they're understanding the importance of doing things the right way, regardless of the situation. You have to put the good things behind you just as well as the bad things that happen to you.
So Donovan's Mr. Scoop and Score, McCray, another touchdown.
Yeah. Every week seems like he's getting in the end zone, you know. And what's amazing about it is you look at the stats; it's recorded as a punt return. So a defensive lineman picking up a punt and running it 56 yards, you know, that's great, you know. But Donovan has worked extremely hard. He deserves all of the success and accolades that he's getting right now, as is a number of other guys on our team. The thing that I'm more impressed also with is a lot of guys are touching the ball. If you look at rushing, you know, we got 4 guys running the football, 2 guys throwing the football, 4 or 5 guys receiving the football. I mean, there's a lot of guys making plays and a lot of guys making tackles. And when you're playing a lot of people, you know, that tends to help you build a program year in, year out.
Coach, first chance getting to speak with you since signing your contract extension. Kind of a 2-part question. First of all, knocking that out, you know, kind of having it out of the way, it's settled, you know, you're locked in for a longer time here. Is that kind of a relief, just knowing that, like, that situation is handled? And I'm sure it wasn't a distraction, but, you know, it's that much less of one.
Well, you know, I believe in our leadership here. You know, I don't think we can get a better president than Mr. Rick Gallo. I mean, he's an exceptional mind, and we think alike, and where he wants this program to go as a university, it goes along with what I believe, you know. So it was never a question of wanting to stay here at Grambling State University. The more important thing was about, you know, making sure our coaches were taken care of, and that's something that, you know, I believe in. I believe in my players. I'm going to try my best to take care of my players, and I'm always trying my best to take care of my coaches, because they are the ones that make this thing work. You know, I'm just a figurehead with the vision. They're the guys that are the foot soldiers that go out and do the task. So, you know, getting things lined up, you know, more so for them, relieve me more than what it would do for me. You know, because in my opinion, you know, I'm less of a guy or a coach or a man if I don't think about, you know, my coaches and my players. So, and it's not over. You know, we're going to continue to press, continue to push, you know, for our coaches and our players to get what they deserve.
And that being said, we, in our interview this offseason, talked a lot about it then, your history with this school, your ties to this school, going back to your childhood. Just getting that extension, knowing you're here even longer, that they wanted you here even longer, how rewarding is that?
Well, it's rewarding. You know, anytime you want it, you know, it's rewarding. You know, I'm not gonna lie about that. I'm a human. You know, you want people to want you. You know, so you know, but at the end of the day, you know, there's still a lot of things that we have to accomplish. There's a lot of things that we want to do, and you know, I go back to 2013. You know, the vision and things that I saw that has stayed with me since 2013. It's not here yet, so the task is not complete. I can't tell you exactly, you know, what that vision was, because it would blow your mind. But the couple of people that I have shared it with, they believe it, and when you see it, you'll see what I'm talking about.
The way that y'all are playing, attention to detail, focus level, finishing games, just playing, I guess as a team, maybe more so than last year when you kind of ran out of gas. Is this kind of the makeup of a championship caliber team when you are doing the things that you've done through the first 7-8 weeks of the year?
I think so, you know, but you have to go out and do it every week. You know, same thing last year. We was doing the same thing last year, but none of that really matters if you don't do it every week, you know. And you know, we talk a lot, you know, about, you know, becoming a champion and being a champion. That's two different things. It's like becoming a head coach and being a head coach, or becoming the president or being the president. You know, that's two different things. So you know, for us, you know, we're in the process of becoming. There's some sacrifice that goes along with that, and our job is to make sure that we continue to sacrifice week in, week out, day in, day out, in order to do that. And then when that happens, then we'll talk about you know, staying there and doing things the right way.
But week to week, would you say you're more consistent this year as opposed to last year?
I would say more consistent attitude-wise in our approach, practice approach, game preparation approach, game day attitude approach. I would say yes. You know, but you know, it's one of those things. You know, you know, your kids tend to mold themselves after your staff and yourself, and our staff thinks that way. And you know, it's just like anything else. Your team becomes your personality, and our coaching staff's personality. And I think it's taken some time, you know, for that to happen, because that doesn't happen overnight. And you know, and I think our guys are really starting to understand and start to get it. You know, but we have to keep the pressure on in order to continue.
I don't think you've played, at home in a month or so?
Yeah.
So it feels like forever.
Yeah.
You and the guys ready to be back here for
We
this
are.
weekend?
We are. It's a big weekend. It's homecoming for all of our fans and people here locally. It's going to be a great deal, a great event. It's supposed to be great weather. So we're always elated and excited to play here in Eddie Robinson Stadium. So we're looking forward to it.